Hello everyone, welcome to Salesforce Helping Hand channel. Today in this video we are going to start second class of Salesforce admin. So in first class we see like how we can basically in first class we'll see the introduction of Salesforce, how you can make your career in Salesforce, and we also guide you how you can create your Salesforce developer org where you can implement your kind of learning which you are starting from the Salesforce. And so whatever you will do, you will definitely do in the Salesforce developer org, right? Because that is something free from the Salesforce side. So now the time is to discuss some other topics. So let's begin with the first of all, the first step is always to log in my Salesforce. So Salesforce login, right? And if you see, so this kind of UI you will also get, as last time we created this scratch org, or let's say developer org, and then you will be able to reset your password, user ID and password, right? So that user ID you will get in your email address, and that password you can keep whatever you want, right? Then later on, let's say you need to log in, so you need the two things here, username and password, right? So I can put my username. Okay, so I'm keep this one, and whatever the password I have, let me try to log in. Okay, cool. So see, I'm able to log in here, right? So this is called Salesforce org. So today's agenda is to understand what are the profiles, what are the permission set, and how we can create the users, and how we can assign the permission set and profile to users, and all kinds of questions we will discuss on these two to three topics, right? First of all, whenever you create the Salesforce org, so by default one admin user is created for you. Whatever org and username you have taken there, so that will be by default taken. So if I go there and I check it, give me a moment. So if you see, this is Rahul Prajapati, right? And I am able to log in using the this username, as we did it, right? And if you see, the profile name is system administrator. So role is something I'll discuss it later, but for your understanding, I'm telling it's just kind of something not required. You can assign for sharing the records, but it is not required, right? So profile is always required whenever you are going to create the user. So you will need the understand what are the profile, right? So let me discuss first of all profile, because that is something is the baseline in Salesforce. There are couple of questions can come on the security level from the profile. Okay, so let me try to make you understand what are the profile in Salesforce. Okay, let me open. So there are two types of profile. First of all, there are standard profiles which are provided by the Salesforce, and there are the custom profile. So custom profile is nothing but you can create your own, right? So let's say first of all understand the any other standard profile. Let me go with the system administrator, as we able to see, like whenever we create one, create the org, so it by default create an admin user, and that admin user has this. Why we call it admin user? Because this user has the admin access using the profile, right? So now we'll be able to see here, so this is system administrator profile. If you see this checkbox is identify this profile is custom or not. If checkbox is checked, then this is custom profile. If it is not checked, then it means it will be the standard profile, right? And so now these are the couple of things here which you might be not able to understand, because this will be later come into the picture. So that's why I'm not going to more dive into the admin's profile side, and just give you the basic understanding of it, right? So let's go one by one from the above. So there is page layouts. So page layout is nothing but whenever you are going to create the records, so there you will be able to find the kind of you can say form, right? So that form, to control that form, what fields we needed there, what fields we don't need it there. So that is something called page layout, right? And that page layout access can be controlled by the profile only. why I'm saying it control, it means like sometime you want to restrict it to user, right? And sometime you want to give the access. So if in case of restrictions, you can only do on the profile, but in case of open access, that's the other term also come, that is permission set, right? So yeah, so that is the thing you always keep in mind. So that is page layout. Later we will discuss in detail. Second is custom object, or let's say standard object. So these are kind of a table as we have in our database, right? So wherever our data is getting stored, so that place and that kind of things are called custom object, or let's say in Java we call the table, right? So let's say one class is there, and that class have the multiple fields and multiple attributes. So there we are storing our data in the row and column format, right? So that is something also custom object we have in Salesforce. There we are going to store our data. So custom objects are always two types, standard and custom. Standards are nothing but like it's provided by the out of box Salesforce, we don't need to create them. But yes, custom are something which we need to create as per our business requirement, right? So there are couple of things on the custom object level we can control, but let we discuss it later. So field level security is nothing but the fields which you have created on your object. So that's you can control using the profile, where and which user you want to give the access. So that's what you can give the things are here. So let me show you. Later on also we will discuss it, because once you have created object, fields, record type, page layouts, so again profile will come into the picture, right? Profile and permission set. So if you see this, so there are two types of access: read access and edit access. So you can control which user you want to give the read access and which user you want to give the edit access, right? So that is something you can also control the on profile, that is called field level security, right? Now go back and go back to the same page where we are earlier. So this is something on profile we can control the access, right? We can control the access on page layout, we can control access on object level, we can control access on the field level as well, right? So next thing will come into the picture, that is called something permission set. I mean, that will we can discuss later, but there are a couple of more things which we don't discuss yet. Let's discuss first, guys. Okay, so that will make you more understand about the profile. So the general term is profile, like it always having such kind of profile. Let's say you are working somewhere and you have some profile, okay, and there are, let's say, 10 projects going on, but what profiles you have, the accordingly you will be access the project and you will start work, right? So you cannot access something all the things. So there is custom applications and standard applications also there. You can also control the access using the profile, right? Tab settings. So tab is nothing but whatever objects you have created, and for that whatever record you want to create using the UI, so you can create the tab and you can also control the access here, right? Record type setting is, that's what I will discuss it later, because you will not able to understand, because that is something related to the object, right? And the administrative permission. So these are the basic permissions, what users can access, right, to out of box Salesforce. Let's say chatter internal user, author apex, API only user, API enable, API rest service user cannot or use, right? So there are couple of things as per your requirement or business requirement, you can configure it. And if you see this, so all kind of things are here. And login hours you can define for the users, what time to what time users can log in. Login IP range you can define only this range. So these are basically for security purpose. So let's say sometime user are try to log in our system out of the login hours. So that's what some business want to restrict it to users. So they would just want to give some limited access only in the business hours, users should be able to log in. So what have to user to do, they have to go to the this login hours and go to the edit, and then they can define on like starting. So all the days are here: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you want to also restrict it to users, so you can also do that, right? So just click on cancel button and just go to back now. So this is something profile we have in Salesforce. Let's understand the permission set. So permission set, guys, is nothing but it just kind of additional access. Let's say you have one assigned profile to users and now you want to give the some additional access. Now your question is why we are using the permission set if we have the profile that access we can control. Yes, that's true. And but the scenario is sometime what we have kind of requirement whenever a single profile is sharing by the multiple users, right? But they are accessing a different kind of data in from the system. So in to avoid such scenarios, we'll use the uh, permission set, right? So if you want to give the additional access, so in that scenario we'll use the permission set, right? So this is something about the permission set. Later on I'll discuss about the implementation part. So that is something the theoretical part. Now let's understand the user, right? So users, how we can create the users, what we can do with users. So let's say I need to create a new user in Salesforce, right? So what you have to do, first of all, at least required field you have to give here, right? So what are the required field? Let's say I'm give it to name Aman and last name is Sarma, let's say, and alias is also come from there. And let's say I want to keep the email address mine, right? Okay, now I just want to keep the username, let's say Aman Sarma, Aman Sarma 445, right? So that's what I get. So Salesforce provide the license, and license something you have to purchase from the Salesforce end, right? So let's say you are the business and you need to purchase the license. So according to that license, you will be able to use the Salesforce, right? So here, let's say I have a different profile, sorry, license here. So according to that license, I can use the profile, right? So let me take it, let's say Salesforce platform, right? And Salesforce platform users. So this is the free of cost org. So here we cannot do much on this, but yes, you can as well having some idea about it, like how you can create the things, how you can control the things, right? So now let's try to save it. And because we are giving him the profile is standard platform user, right? So now just click on save button and configure the other things there, right? And okay, so now our user is getting created, and definitely I'll be get one email which will show me your this user has created in system. So it might take few seconds or sometime few minutes. So you can wait that time. Just wait. And meanwhile, we try to explore it more. Yeah. So if you see this, I'll be get this kind of mail. And once I click on verify account, reset password, that's for every users you have to do, right? So whatever users you are going to create, so on their email address they will get this email ID and they need to set their password. Okay, so once you have provided all these details, so this is something you can set your password, and this is the something you can set the security question. So later on if you forgot the password, so using this kind of questions you can recover your. Okay, so if you see this, if you want to check from which user I'm able to log in, so go to the Aman Sarma, right? So if you see this user is Aman Sarma, email ID is this, manager is nothing. If you want to control it more level, you can do that, right? Let's try to more it to understand what informations we have filled up. So see, I'm able to see the all informations what I have filled for my creating the users, right? So that is profile I have created and user license is there, right? So there are more details are there. Let's say there is time zone which you can control. Whatever time zone you have, you can just control it here. Local, what language you are having, right? So these all kinds of details you can control on your end. And yeah, so that is much about the profile and user level now. Because now I'm not discussing in details. Later on, I need to discuss it while I show you how you can control, because that is something I can just give you the understanding. But while I create the object, fields, record type, page layouts, and applications, so then I will show you how profile and permissions and can be control that, right? So once you have created the profile, so then the question is how will assign the permission set to users. So user profile you can control and change from here, but permission set is here, right? So if you click on this, you will be able to see the permission set assignment, because right now we don't have any permission set, right? So that's what user is not able to see. And if I click here and check from here, I click on permission set, right? And yeah, so I think this is something, not the uh, s- admin users, guys. So admin user can only assign the permission set, right? Sorry, that was we are logging with some other user, right? So this is the permission sets we have available. I think what I have to do, I have to log out from this one, then only we can use, because in a single browser you cannot log in at the same time with both user, let's say sales user and the other user. So I have to log in again. So this is my uh, credential, I have saved it here, right? Okay. Okay, now log in it. So now let me go to the this part, user. Let me refresh it. Okay, it will now show you all the things there, don't worry. Okay, so if you're able to see here permission set, whatever permission set standard we have right now in our system, so that's what I can see here, right? And same time, you can also create your custom permission set. So these are the standard permission set we can having from the Salesforce. And if I go here and try the permission set clicks, and here if you see this, I take this new, and let's say I want to take it sales user. Okay, sales user permission set, right? Or let's make it sales user only, don't need to permission set, make it need required, right? And license, what license you required, because that's might be you can also create without license. There are lots of license, let make it sales user, right? Now click on save button, and you can control the all kind of things as you are able to control on the C, object setting, application permissions, flow access, external credential, principal access, custom metadata, and custom setting definitions. So these all settings you can control on the permission set. But the difference between permission set and custom but the difference between permission set and custom profile is, or let's say standard profile is, you cannot restrict it to users using the permission set, but you can restrict it to users using the profile. Okay, so that is something you can use the profile and the permission set. Okay, users has created, now you will be able to understand what profile you can access, what custom profile you can access, right? So now let's discuss about the object, right? What is an object in Salesforce, and what are the standard objects and what are the custom object? What are the difference between these? So let's understand about this concept. Okay. So guys, object is, as I already discussed, object is nothing but it kind of table in Salesforce where we'll store our data. Let me show you how you can store your data. Okay, let's say you are in a sales user and you need to create an account for the client. Okay, you need to create an account, or might be there are some standard or custom object you need to create. But take an example. So what are the objects? So let's understand it now. So object is nothing but it's a kind of structure where these all fields are getting information and stored into the object format, right? So these fields, something are under the object. So these account name, rating, phone number, these every fields are under the object. So if you are able to understand from the front end users, so these are all the UI fields, and these UI fields user will provide some input from here, and that data is somewhere getting stored, right? So where that's getting stored into the some tables in the database. And what are the tables? That is object, which we understand in Salesforce, right? So objects might be two types as we are able to see this. So this is the out of box: leads, task, account, contact, campaign, dashboard, report, chatter, group, calendar. So these all are the standard object, right? So these objects you cannot you don't need to create in your Salesforce work. So you just need to use it. But let's say I need some custom of the requirement. Let's say what I need from the I have a kind of business where I'm just controlling the HRA things, right? So for to store the information, candidate, and interview, and these also I need the those all objects into the Salesforce, right? So the basic thing is you have to create the custom object for that, because you are these all Salesforce standard object and fields cannot be help you. You need to separate object and separate fields to structure and so the UIs to your data and keep store into the database, right? So now let's understand the difference between custom object and standard object. So standard object is something whenever you create your org, you will be get from the Salesforce side. And custom object is something which you create, you don't get from the out of box. Now in terms of fields, definitely will be get lots of fields on the standard object. If we'll talk about, there are multiple types of fields you will be get. There you will get some record types, account number, account owner, site address. These all out of box fields you can get onto the standard object. But in terms of custom object, you will get only 3 to 4 fields, and those are the created by account name, and I mean name fields, and last modify by. So these 3 to 4 fields you will be only able to get rest, or you need to create as per your business requirement, right? Okay. So other part is you will be able to get this automatically added onto the records type, but your custom object and custom fields you need to add there, right? Okay, so these are the couple of all settings which I'm discussing with you: page layouts, lightning record type, button links and actions, compact layout, field sets, object limits, record type, related lookup filter, search layout. So these all will be discussed in detail, right? Except the automations, because automations will come into the picture later. But yes, so what are the things which we need to understand on custom object and custom profile? We will be able to discuss that. Okay, thank you for this video. I'll be going to record one more video regarding to the account and account object fields, right? So these all I'll be going to create one more video. Thank you. Salesforce helping and channel, stay tuned.